You're listening to Empress Conversations podcast with your host, Maggie Peary. Conversations with Maggie. Yeah, yeah. Empress. Join us next time on the next episode of Empress Conversations with Maggie. To learn more about guests or for more information on working with Maggie, go to www.empressconversationswithmaggie.com/get-started.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Empress Conversations with Maggie. Today, my special guest is Ms. Ricki Fairley, CEO and co-founder of Touch, the Black Breast Cancer Alliance. As a triple-negative breast cancer survivor and thriver, Ricki's personal purpose, passion, and mission and ministry and blessings is to bring focus, attention, research, science, and action to eradicating Black breast cancer and supporting and coaching what she calls her Breasties through the breast cancer experience. Ricki is an award-winning seasoned marketing veteran that has transformed her strategic acumen into breast cancer advocacy. Ricki co-founded and serves as CEO of Touch, the Black Breast Cancer Alliance, to address Black breast cancer as a unique and special disease state, with the overall goal of reducing the mortality rate of Black women. Ricki founded and serves as co-host for The Doctor Is In, a weekly live breast cancer advocacy web series on blackdoctor.org Facebook page that reaches over 3 million viewers. Ricki, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks. It's so great to see you.
Likewise, I'm so excited to have you with me today. This is so exciting. Ricki, tell us a little bit about your journey and how you got here today.
Sure. So, I was a crazy, typical Black woman doing everything for everybody, right? I was the breadwinner for my family, the rainmaker for my company. And I went for my annual checkup and my doctor found a lump. Had I been checking my breast, I probably would have found it. It was a peanut hard thing on top of my left nipple. And I went to this whirlwind of breast cancer. I did a double mastectomy. I did 6 rounds of pretty aggressive chemo, 6 weeks of radiation, and then almost a year to the day. And my doctor said, "You're okay." And then almost a year to the day of my diagnosis, I went back and they found 5 spots on my chest wall.
Oh.
And my doctor said, "Okay, Ricki, you're now metastatic. You have 2 years to live. Get your affairs in order." And triple negative breast cancer, affects Black women at 3 times the rate of white women. We don't know why. It's the most aggressive, the most fatal, and it's the only breast cancer subtype that doesn't have a drug to prevent recurrence. So a lot of times it comes back like mine did. So my doctor said, "You have 3 years to live." 2 years to live. I said, "I can't die right now. I have a daughter at Dartmouth. I've got to pay for her tuition. So me, you, and God and some drugs have to work this out." I went to Dr. Google and everything said, "You're going to die, you're going to die, you're going to die." On the 3rd page of Dr. Google, I found the Triple Negative Breast Cancer Foundation. So I called them and they found me a doctor at Emory. I lived in Atlanta then. And she was probably one of 5 doctors in the country that was researching triple negative. And she put me on some experimental drugs and I didn't die. And it's been 11 years.
11 years. Wow.
So I know God left me here to do this work.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You just mentioned it came back. So within the first time or sometime within the 11 years?
After a year, it came back. After a year, it came back. Yeah.
So then after that year, you continued with your treatment and
I did some experimental drugs after a year and the 2nd round of chemo and I didn't die.
Tell us a little bit more about the WE trial and the process.
WE trial. So we started this movement earlier this year because Black women have a 41% higher mortality rate than white women.
Wow.
Black women have a 39% higher recurrence rate than white women. And that's a lot attributable to triple negative because we get it at 3 times the rate. Black women under the age of 30 get breast cancer at 4 times the rate of white women.
Wow.
Black women under 35 at twice the rate die at 3 times the rate, well before they would have that first mammogram at age 40. Black women under 50 die at twice the rate of white women. And so we're getting it younger at later stages and more aggressive breast cancers. And so I kind of labeled it Black breast cancer. And when I went back and looked say, what's going on here? Why is this happening? Why are we getting triple negative? Why are we dying in these numbers? I looked at the clinical trials for the drugs that we currently have,
Mm,
and there were no Black women in them. So the drugs that we have for breast cancer were made for white bodies, not
mm,
for Black breast cancer. And now we have a growing body of data that's validating that a Black breast cancer cell looks different from a white breast cancer cell. And so the drugs aren't working.
wow.
If you look at what's happening now with the drugs being developed, there's only 3% participation in clinical trials of Black women.
Okay.
So until we get more Black bodies in the research, we're not going to develop drugs that are going to work for us, and we're going to keep dying. So I started when we trialed to really help educate Black women about clinical research, how important it is, and how necessary it is. And really, they're afraid of it because it's fear of the unknown. The level of health illiteracy in our Black community is so crazy. We don't know anything. We don't know what we don't know. We don't want to ask for. And so we really wanted to educate Black women about clinical trials, how the science works, why it's so important, and how they have to ask for it for themselves. Because we
Mhm.
do know, our research shows that doctors are not inviting Black women into clinical trials. And
Mm,
so we have to figure out how we can help them know to ask doctors for the trials and even know what to ask for. And so, there's a lot of resistance because of Henrietta Lacks and the syphilis study and all
yes.
the earned medical mistrust. But really, it's really just fear of the unknown. They don't know what it's about. They don't understand. They say stuff like, I'm going to get the sugar pill and die. Well, there's no sugar pill in cancer research. There's no placebo. It's basically you're going to get standard of care, which means you're going to get a drug that's already on the market, that's already being used, and maybe a new drug on top of that, or a new drug altogether. And frankly, if you are a Black woman under 40 and you have breast cancer, especially triple negative breast cancer, you need to do a clinical trial because the drugs aren't working for us. That's your best science. That's your best treatment option. And so we want women to know that. We want women to know that. And so we're trying to educate them, and people are shocked by the fact that, that Advil you took for a headache, that Tylenol you gave your baby, that
Uh-huh.
heart medicine you give your dog, they're
Uh-huh.
all in clinical trials. Everything's in a clinical trial. The science is happening all around us, right?
Right.
And really, in a clinical trial, you get better care. You get a better quality of care
Mm,
because there are more doctors looking at you, more scans, more tests. If you went on chemo today, you probably wouldn't have a scan to know that it's working on your cancer for 3 months. In a clinical trial, you'll probably have that scan in a month. So you'll know, and you'll have doctors watching over you to see if the drug is working. And if it's not, they'll put you on a different course of action. So it's really the better care. And they probably will pay for your transportation, pay for your parking, maybe give you childcare, give you a Whole Foods gift card, and give you all these things that are better care than you would get in a normal situation. And then, we all wear this purple cape and this gold crown, and we're like these, do everything for everybody, Black women at the expense of ourselves. And so do it for your daughter. Do it for your daughter. Do it for your grandkids. Do it for somebody you love. Do it, do the science. So not only are you helping yourself, but you could be paying it forward and helping somebody else get cured of cancer.
wow.
So we put it out there.
Was it just your tenacity 11 years ago that you just said, I'm going to do this trial and jumped on it? And here you are today. Thank God that you did do the trial.
Yeah, and for me it was experimental, but I wanted to live, Maggie. If I didn't do it, I would have died. There was nothing else for me because we don't have any drugs for triple negative back then. We now have one drug for early stage triple negative and two drugs for late stage or metastatic triple negative, but we don't have it. Yeah.
Besides you and and Touch and other organizations, how else is this message being put across?
Well, everybody is talking about the need for diversity in clinical trials. And everybody's talking about it. I mean, I have a Google alert about diversity in clinical trials. I get 3 articles every day, but
Oh,
no,
good.
but nobody's doing anything. It's all like talk, 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 talk. But I want to walk the walk.
Mm.
So so far since May 15th, we've signed up 4,000 women for clinical trials into
Oh,
portals.
wow. 4,000? Well done, Ricki. Well
So,
done.
I'm very proud of that, Maggie. But
Yes.
it's a blip in the ocean of where we need to be. It's really, we have so much more work to do to get Black women in, and I'm really proud of it. And it's a start. But what I do know is our formula is working. our messaging is working. And we've done probably almost 20 events since May, all around the country, talking to women, because I really want to be where Black women live, work, play, pray, and slay. And we're going into the community, we're going to events, we're talking to women. We're coming to Alpharetta tomorrow.
Yes.
We're doing a HBCU homecoming tour. So we're trying to be in the community, talking to women, talking about health, talking about breast health, because our Black families, we don't talk about health. We don't talk about it until Uncle Pookie gets his leg amputated,
Yes.
or Grandma Edith is in hospice. How'd that happen, right?
Yes.
And so we're trying to make, hoping our young people, our young women will bring these conversations to their households. Mom, what's her story? Grandma, who died of what in our family? Do we have cancer? And force these conversations in our family. So we have an HBCU internship program. We have a young women's campaign for the Your Girls to help young women get engaged in these conversations so they could teach their mamas and their aunties and their grandmamas.
That's fantastic. Ricki, you alone, today is the 21st of October.
Yeah.
And I got this from your Facebook page, but just as of yesterday, which was the 20th, at what do you call it? Touch October?
Touchtober.
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 You had done 29 breast cancer talks.
I have.
8 of them yesterday.
We did 8 yesterday.
Yeah. And then there's still 10 more days to go in this month.
I know.
This is just amazing that this one woman is doing all of this work, but all of this energy goes around October, but the 11 months of the year, it's like silence.
I know. And I wish breast cancer was only a 31-day thing. It's not. It's all year long. It's 365, 24/7. And as of every day this month, I have gotten a new patient call me with a diagnosis with triple negative breast cancer. A lot of women are dying I don't know what the number is, every 14 minutes from breast cancer. So we have so much work to do, and it is all year long, and it's pervasive. And so I know God left me here to do this. It's my purpose. It's my passion. I work for my babies. I have 3 precious granddaughters now. Amanda has 3 kids. And I got about 10 years before they get boobs. I'll tell you my baby story. So Bella's 5, Leia is 3, and baby Heart is 18 months. And Heart is still nursing. So we were in the shower a couple of months ago, and Belle said, so my grandma name is Debbie, Lovey Debbie. So Debbie, how come you have don't have those things on your boobs that baby Heart sucks on? And so we had this long conversation. Okay, Belle, well, those things are nipples. We had to cut them off because they were making me sick. The boobs were we had to cut them off. And we had this long conversation about my whole experience, what breast cancer is all about. But I don't want to talk about it anymore with her. I'm done. I explained it to her. She went to school, told her whole class that her grandmother has fake boobs, whatever. But I don't want it. I want it to go away. I don't want it to be in their vocabulary, And we live in this world of health inequity. We don't have health equity, and we're not going to get health equity until everybody in our health ecosystem practices the golden rule.
Yes.
What your mother taught you when you were 2 years old. Treat others as you want to be treated.
Exactly.
And so when doctors start to do that and really think about, gosh, I'm making this recommendation for treatment for this Black person, but is this what I would do for my mother? Is this what I would do for my daughter? Until they're thinking on at that level of care, we're not going to get what we need. So we have to demand it. So a lot of our When We Trial movement is not only to educate about trials, but also to help Black women talk to their doctors. Talk to the doctors. Here are the questions you need to ask your doctor. Here are the things you need to demand from them. And you do need to say, if that's a treatment plan you would give your mother, I'll take it. But if it's not good enough for me. So give me something else. Or you're fired. It's okay to fire your doctor. And we have a lot of good doctors. We have a lot of bad doctors. So
that's good.
But you don't have to stick with a doctor. He is not God, and you have to be the CEO of your own body, the CEO of your health. And if you're a mama and you got babies and a husband or whatever you got in your household, you're their CEO too. You got to take care of them, and you got to fight for them. And it's okay to say, this is not the right, you got to give me better care. We have one Breastie who says when she goes to the doctor, she's got metastatic breast cancer. She's like, don't give me the McDonald's drive-through appointment today. I want the Ruth Chris Steakhouse appointment today.
Ruth Chris, I love
cocktail, the appetizer, the salad, the main course. I want it all.
That's right.
Take your hand off the doorknob. I'm not done with you yet, and get the care you deserve.
Ricki, 10 years, I mean, by the time your granddaughters start to develop, that clock is ticking because 10 years will be
It's
here in a heartbeat.
bam, 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 bam. That's why I'm a crazy person. I know I'm crazy. I'm like all over the place, but we have to do this work. And you know what? Black women, we have to solve all the problems of the world. We get people voted, we get, we do all the stuff. So guess what, ladies? This is on us.
It
And
is.
and our Black Breasties, we need to do this work. We need to do this work.
Ricki, so I hear the advocacy, the passion is there. How do you go about it with touch to get funding for this research and putting the word out there?
Maggie, I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. I have no problem asking for money. And I really feel like pharmaceutical companies have embraced what I'm doing, embraced the work.
Mhm.
And I've been shouting from the rooftop about Black breast cancer. And so they're giving me money. They're not saying no. They're supporting my campaign. They're supporting my media buys. They're supporting really everything I'm doing. I couldn't ask for more help. I mean, they've given me a seat at the table. We're helping to design recruiting materials for trials. We're helping to design trials, helping pick locations. And they really are involving us in this conversation and the process of doing this work. So I'm very, very, very grateful for the support I'm getting. And I'll keep asking for more. And, I mean, hope to God, pray about it. But I feel like God has placed me in this channel and given me everything I need to make it happen. So
If there was ever someone that you ever r- ran into or came across that you felt, my goodness, it's like your pain, your passion here has become your ministry, like full time. This is
yeah,
Ricki's mission. This is what I'm here for, and this is
yeah.
what I'm going to go. How do you still go about doing this? Because at 66, you're still young and energetic and doing all of these things. Where do you get this energy, this passion? How
I
do you
don't
keep
know.
it going?
Everyone is, aren't you tired? I'm not tired. My voice is a little gone today because I did 8 talks yesterday, but I wake up every morning. Okay, God, let's go. What are we doing? And I don't even think about it. I don't even think about it. I don't have time to get tired. My father's motto was sleep when you're dead. So kind of grew up that way, but I know I have to do this work and I know it has to get done. I have two mottos. Can I say SHIT, get shit done, and do iconic shit, GIS and GIGSD. And I know that I have to do this work. I don't have a choice. I know it's in my spirit, it's in my being, and I just do it.
Wow.
No is not the answer. It's always how.
Oh my goodness, you just left me so many gems here. But before, I cannot neglect cannot go by this question. And I have to ask you, what has been your success or your secret sauce in raising two strong, driven, successful daughters?
They are both amazing, aren't they?
They
Amazing.
are.
And Haley works for me, works with me. She's doing this with
Ah,
me, which is great. She was a teacher for 8 years and she's okay, mom, you need my help. And she's a godsend. And Amanda's doing amazing work in politics. But you
mhm.
know what? I don't know. I think they're brilliant, but I made them get straight A's. And and it's something my dad did. I paid for A's, but my rule in the house was, get straight A's because if you get a B, you don't live here anymore.
But you set the
Yeah,
expectation
and
with
you can
them.
have whatever you want. You can have a car, you can have all the beautiful things you want. I'll work really hard to give you everything you want, but your job is to get straight A's. No negotiation.
And you literally said you don't live here anymore if you
Oh
do not.
yeah. And they never got a B. But that was my rule. Like my dad did it to me. Like you live here, you get straight A's. And if you get a B, it's just not happening in this house anymore. And so I also kept them really busy and try to expose them to everything. I traveled a lot for work, and I would take them with me in a heartbeat and
Mm,
take them out of school. I felt like they could learn more with me than they could in school, and we could do the schoolwork. I took Amanda to Paris one time for 3 weeks when she was like 14.
nice.
3 weeks of school, but we did all the schoolwork, but she saw Paris and London and France. You know what I mean? So I
Hmm.
try to expose them to everything, but it was all about straight A's is in your head. Like that's there's no choice. So do what you got to do.
And look at you today doing what you got to do and keep it moving.
Right. Right.
So, it's obvious that your strength, it comes from your relationship with the Lord. We're both Christian women, and
Yeah.
just the tenacity is just something that I'm just like, oh, Ricki, anyone who meets you just knows you're on the radio, TV, anywhere, everywhere. You just keep going. You're just truly amazing with that. But on the flip side, if I were to ask, what has it been like living, loving, and dating after the mastectomy?
So, I was married for 30 years. I got divorced. I have a husband, but, and I also I went from sort of my dad's house,
Mm,
my married house. So I never really
mm.
hung out there. So I did a little bit now. I had to break a few hearts and understand how that works. But,
Good for you.
but, my work is so consuming, like no one really can keep up with me, which is what I do. I know this is my purpose and that's my priority. So, but
Mhm.
I have, I just got engaged like a month ago, which is crazy. I know, right? At my old age. But I have a great, 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 awesome fiance who, he's a warrior too. He's a survivor. He's
Oh,
retired military, and he was in combat and had
oh,
burns all over his body and had all kinds of issues and shot down from helicopters, and so I think he has this kind of survivor mentality that we share,
wow.
and we just laugh all the time, which is great. So
That's awesome. That's a
yeah.
fantastic. See, the happily ever after, and I'm tearing up here. That's so beautiful. So the fantastic thing is this month we've been busy and schedules. I actually got time to talk to Christine, your wonderful
She
assistant
did.
here,
She's awesome.
and I got such a beautiful insight because everybody can send you and Ricki, I will share your full bio on the website, and it's just an amazing biography that you have with all the accolades and beautiful things you've done. But there's something to be said when someone who works for you gives a different and refreshing outtake on who you are. And this was some of the conversation
Which
I
is
had.
scary. Which is
It's not scary. Trust me, I'm smiling from ear to ear. So this is what Christine had to say about you. Your dedication is out of this world. Your response is always yes or not now. And then she also says, your genuine love for people, your passion for eradicating breast cancer at 66 with a busy schedule, her words, psh, the, that was really something. And she says, you have grace for yourself. And she also says, you will fight cancer so your grandchildren won't have to. She describes you as having spunk. You are a no BS type of person, but you will have fun. And your favorite quote, you have fun with boundaries. That means no partying after bedtime. What do you think about all of that?
That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. I know we dance all the time until wee hours of the morning. I'm not sure about the bedtime thing, but but no, she's a jewel, Christine. I love her. She runs my life, and I went for a long time doing this by myself, and then I hired one person, Emily, and then Christine came and Haley came. And so we have a really, really great team. I have an awesome team, and they're all, 30 years old. Christine's 28. So they all like, didn't you do the Google Doc, mom? Or did you like do this? Like they're like totally challenging me to do everything with technology. And it's great. I have their brains, and also we're talking to young women. I'm not the target. I
Mm,
want them to be, they're launching it, and I've stayed out of it. We're launching this young women's campaign called for the love of your girls, spelled GURLS, and
mm,
that's going to probably launch in January. We're doing all this great creative, and it's all, but they're the target. I want them to talk the talk. I want them to talk about breast cancer with
wonderful.
young women to really make an impact in our community. So I love Christy, and I love them. I love Emily. I love Haley, and we just get it done.
What has been your key or your secret ingredient here to building a team that's just so cohesive, and then all of you being women and working together, and exactly your target goal is women, and that's exactly
Yeah.
what you have on your team. So what's that been like, and how did you develop that team?
Well, I've sort of, God brought everybody to me, and I didn't, um, God brought these people to me, and
Mm,
they all came to me through relationships and partners and other people that I know. So, and they have been a godsend, but it's all God put together. It's all from God. And, Emily's in Portland. Haley's, only 40 minutes away. Christine's in Florida. So
mm,
we live on Zoom. Our Zoom is our office. We're on Zoom all day long, but they bring such a wealth of information and energy, and their spirits are great. And it's all God. God brought us together. God helped me pick them.
Wonderful. Ricki, I want to circle back to something here in terms of breast cancer that I forgot to ask you earlier. You mentioned how cancer, it even looks different in Black women versus white
Yeah.
women. And at the beginning of this month, I had my guest and friend, Ali Ponte, who's a 5-year breast cancer thriver right now.
Okay.
And she talked about how she got it was environmental. So things like the water we drink, and as well as the environmental things, having in candles and just different things. Is that also a factor? I'm sure it is with Black women as well in terms of getting
Well,
it, or is it also
everything is factor, and we're now finding like hair products, perms, hair color, all that stuff is a factor. But you know what, Maggie, you cannot prevent breast cancer. It is not preventable. If you look in history, there's books from Greek mythology where they show a doctor holding a boob. So it's one of the oldest cancers in the world. Lung
wow, that
cancer
far
came
back?
Yeah, lung cancer came with the industrial revolution. Like different cancers came from other stuff. But clearly there are some risk factors, okay? Like eating the right foods. You can't eat mac and cheese and fried chicken every day.
No.
We know what to do, right? Exercise, exercise, exercise. Obesity is definitely a factor. Um, um, and chemicals. I actually did a clinical trial a few months ago where I wore two bracelets. One was to measure the chemicals I was putting on my body, like shampoo and lotion, et cetera. And one was to measure the chemicals I was exposed to, like cleaning products and
Mm,
the environment. And so
mm,
I'm in that trial, now we're waiting for the results of that. So we're measuring all those things, but really they're risk factors. Okay. Can some cancers happen? There's one area, I believe it's in near Rochester, New York, where like everyone in the town got breast cancer from
wow.
some plant. So that's happening. There are environmental things, right?
Okay.
Have to look out for that we can control. But in general, if you're going to get it, you're going to get it. And all you can do is early detect it. And so that's why it's so important for people to know their breasts, look at your breasts, feel your breasts, know what they look like. So if you do get a lump or something, or they do have you have a discharge or something, that it's wrong, something's wrong. Because a lot of Black women will go to the doctor, especially our young people, and say, I have this lump. And the doctor will say, oh, you're too young for a mammogram, come back in 6 months. Well, they're dead in 6 months, or they're metastatic. So don't let a doctor dismiss you. If you know your body, and you have to know your body, know her story. If you know that, then fight for yourself and get another doctor, fire the doctor, get another opinion. Don't let a doctor, kind of dismiss you away. And then talk to your mom, know her story. Only about 5 to 10% of breast cancers are hereditary. So
Mm,
most aren't. So don't think that if your mother didn't have it, you're safe, because you're not safe.
mm,
Know that, because if your mother did have it, and what age, find out what age she had it, or your auntie, or your grandma, or your dad, or your dad's side of the family. Did anyone have colon cancer or prostate cancer? They're all connected. So
mm,
know all those things so you're prepared for it. But the best thing you can do is early detect. Early detect.
mm. Ricki, if there's anybody listening today, the one thing that really is empowering that you just said left chills on my arms, and that is, at least I hope they'd feel empowered to what you just said, and that is fire your doctor. If they're
Yeah,
not listening to you,
yeah. Fire
fire
your
your
doctor.
doctor. Go
Be
to somebody
be
else.
your own CEO of your own health. Know your body. Be able to talk to say, this wasn't here a month ago. I know it's not right. Or I just don't feel right. I don't feel right in my spirit. And go
Mm,
get another doctor.
mm. Ricki, one more thing here, in that Black women as a culture, our hair is our glory. And just the other day, I posted an article about how it's a carcinogen with relaxers
Yeah.
and all these things.
Yeah.
And typically, Black women, we never really worked out because we didn't want to sweat out our hair. And
Right.
now, you're choosing how your hair looks versus your health.
Right.
So that whole thing to drive, to work out, to try and eat better, at least healthier things, and make smarter decisions with what you eat, what we
Right.
consume. All of those things make a difference. Is there anything else you'd like to add to that?
No, just take care of yourself, but do the right thing. And I know we want to do all these hair things, and
Mm,
but I was bald. for 2 years. So after you're bald, you really don't care. Like, you know what I mean? But I mean, now we have all these great wigs you can put in your hair. Like there's so many things you can do with your hair to get the effect that you want.
Mm-hmm.
Do that. Don't use chemicals, or use chemicals. No, you use products that don't have carcinogens. Like we know Aveda products don't have carcinogens. And we have a breasty friend, Tia Tomlin, and she actually has stuff on our website that will talk about what things, you can and cannot use. But read the labels. Read if it has parabens in it, you don't use it. So read the labels and be aware of what you're putting on your body and in your hair and on your kids. Be aware of it. Just read the labels and there's a lot. If you Google what to not to use, it's all out there on Dr. Google. But take
Ricki,
care of yourself.
how long, if I could ask just a few more questions,
Sure.
because I'm so interested, how long did it take for your hair to grow back after it came off?
It grew. It took probably maybe about 2 months after chemo, and I mean, you lose all of your hair, your eyelashes, your eyebrows, your pubic hair. Like one day, I was like, "What's going on?" Like
Wow.
everything, like your arm hair, like everything goes. I have very hairy arms. It
Wow.
all went. It all goes, but it comes back after you stop taking the drugs. You know.
Wow. In
So
the movies, yeah, I always just imagined it was your hair in your head and never anything else. So
everything,
I
man.
never
Oh
even,
yeah, all
wow.
of it goes. All of it goes. And the eyelash thing is really hard because stuff gets in your eyes, stuff gets in your nose, your ears, like stuff that you wouldn't imagine because
Oh, wow.
yeah, because there's no hair to be a filter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ricki, as we get ready to wrap up, is there anything you'd like to share either? And please do tell listeners how they can get to touch and get in contact with you.
Sure. Sure. Well, I really believe my breast cancer came from stress. I was doing everything for everybody, right? And I wouldn't admit that I was stressed out. Like I didn't believe in stress. And I had to learn the hard way that my peace is non-negotiable. So not only did I get rid of the cancers in my body, I got rid of all the cancers in my life. And I totally quit my life and started a new one. I got divorced. I quit my business partners. I moved. I, bought a little house on the beach with my big house in Alpharetta. And I changed everything about my life to find peace. And I go paddleboarding every morning that I can, but I found peace. So find peace. You don't have to get sick to know that your peace is non-negotiable. Find your peace. Do the things that you have to do to give yourself peace and give yourself a pause and take care of yourself. And that whole thing about put the mask on yourself first. You can't really help anyone until you do that. And frankly, when you're sick, the whole family's sick. Cancer affects everybody. So, take care of yourself and do that. But also get the best care you can. Demand the golden rules to quality of care. And if you are under 40, do a clinical trial. Do that. Consider a clinical trial as your first treatment option. It's your best science you can get. You want that iPhone 14, you want that Tesla, you want that big TV, you want the Apple computer with the M1 chip. You're buying science everywhere, right?
That's
Buy
true.
the best science for your body. Buy the best science for your body, and that's in a clinical trial for Black women with breast cancer. And so you can find us, email me, text me. My email is RICKI@touchbbca.org. All of our social media is at touchbbca.org. We have a great YouTube channel, a playlist called For When We Trial. We just put up 6 new videos this week that are awesome videos to explain trials to people. Our website is touchbbca.org. Our clinical trial site is whenwetrial.org. And reach out on social media at touchbbca, and we'll text you back and join our movement on whenwetrial.org. You sign up for our emails and you'll get lots of information and watch our show. So I do a show every Wednesday night on blackdoctor.org's Facebook page, Facebook Live. My co-host is Monique Gary. She's an incredible breast surgical oncologist, and we talk about everything breast cancer every week. So we're on every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Join our show, and
Wonderful.
we have about 3,000 to 5,000 viewers in the moment, and we talk about everything. We have a pretty, kitchen table girlfriend conversation every Wednesday.
Ricki, just I want to go back to something that just came to mind in the midst of your peace and changing your lifestyle completely. And I see your pictures on Facebook. You're paddle boarding with your little puppy, and it's just
Right.
the two of you. And just how was that in terms of what you cook? Did you change your cooking utensils and just everything in your kitchen as well, or in addition to?
Not really, I wouldn't say that I'm a totally healthy eater. I do not believe in being a vegan. I believe in eating chicken and fish. But the one thing that we do know that is not a good thing for breast cancer survivors is red meat. So I don't eat a lot of red meat, and filet mignon with béarnaise sauce is one of my favorite foods. It's actually one of Belle's favorite foods. So maybe once a month I'll eat a piece of steak, maybe one burger, but I eat a lot of vegetables. Eat a lot of, chicken and fish. And I do eat ice cream a lot.
I love
but but you know what? Just do it in moderation. We know when we're not doing the right thing. We know we're not eating the right stuff. And I don't eat really any fast food. I don't eat fast food at all. I mean, maybe every now and then I'll eat Chick-fil-A, but I don't really eat any fast food at all. I cook at home a lot. My fiance is a really good cook, and he swears he's a better cook than me. We debate about that, but he loves to cook. So, just do the right thing. Vegetables and fruit are great things to do, and just be careful and just be healthy. And I also walk a lot. I tell all of new patients, go take a walk. You can see God. It's not only good for your body, but it's good for your psyche.
That's right.
Go take a walk. Watch the leaves change.
That's right.
Watch the water move. Feel the wind. Feel nature all around you, because that'll give you perspective on life.
Walk barefoot in the grass.
Yep. There you go.
Well, Ricki, it has been an absolute pleasure having you. I cannot thank you enough. And everyone, be sure to visit touchbbca.org.
Yes.
And then also, if you would like to donate, please visit Ricki's site and her email. And thank you, Ricki, again.
Thank
have
you
all
so
that
much.
available. God bless you for all the work that you're doing.
Bless
You're
you.
listening to Empress Conversations podcast with your host, Maggie Peary. Conversations with Maggie. Empress. Join us next time on the next episode of Empress Conversations with Maggie. To learn more about guests or for more information on working with Maggie, go to www.empressconversationswithmaggie.com/get-started.